everybody? We are back with another video. I have on the line the one and only King of Reads is live on the air. Can you hear me, Justin J? As you're on the air?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay, because you got us all caught up in this, into this, I would say, an entanglement with you and AdrianXpression. Did a podcast for the Culture Podcast, and you went live and you entitled a video "Dear Depression," and you spilled some tea, pretty much saying that AdrianXpression was drunk. He was highly intoxicated, and that he spilled some of your information.
I did not spill no tea. I did not spill no tea about Adrian being drunk. Do not frame it.
Okay, like but that. You put.
I did not. I did a video. It wasn't a live video. There was a video that was recorded about like a couple of days after or during the last subtweet that Adrian posted on Twitter, and after a year of just dealing with, shots and comments and videos made about me, attacking my character and misrepresenting.
You there?
I'm gonna make sure my phone went on.
Okay.
If I was making sure, I was making sure if I can't be respected, if the respect is not given to me, then I'm going to have to just be honest about like what truly happened. So it wasn't an attack on Adrian. I don't do those type of things. I've been friends with Adrian for years. So this was not like, as you mentioned, a Scorpion versus Justin J and all that. I'm not going to drag a friend that I've known for 6 years in public like that. That's not something I'm getting into. I will always have respect for the friendship that we did have. And over the last year, that has not been returned to me. So I felt it was necessary for me to talk, but not attack. Not attack. I'm not doing that.
Okay, but you put the text, and Adrian admitted that he was drunk, correct? That you put that text message out.
Yes, Adrian did admit that he was. Yes, he did.
Okay, so
he said he was drunk at the time.
He was drunk at the time. Now, during that era, take us back to that piece when he was at your house drunk and his other friend was drunk. How was that experience? Like, what was going on in your house that you felt as though that, that pretty much the podcast was a no? So what was going on in your house between AdrianXpression and his friend?
I'm not going to get into too much about that because I don't want this to turn into Adrian versus Justin, Adrian versus the King of Reads. I don't want any drama. The only reason why I reached out to you is because, me and you have a relationship. I've known you for years. You've always been supportive. And then some of the things that you were saying in the video were not accurate. So I wanted to make sure that I give you an accurate account of what happened, but I'm not going to go into too many details. I'm just not going to do that because that's just not how I am. But that day, as I said in my video I did last year, Adrian and his friend showed up, both intoxicated, and his friend said some rude stuff to me in my presence, and he put his hands on me and Adrian, and he slapped us both on the ass after making a comment, and Adrian tried to tell him to like, hey, calm down, like he was drunk, and both of them were like drunk, and they were doing a lot.
Okay, now when you say when he slapped you on the ass, you was not naked, because I want to put this in perspective that none of y'all clothes.
No.
Okay.
No, this was not when I first met. I met them in the parking garage. You can't get inside my apartments without a key fob. So Adrian parked in the parking garage, and I went to go meet him like I always do. And I hugged Adrian, and I tried to hug the guy who he's with, and he kind of pushed me off. He was like, he don't want no hug. And I was like, trying to ease the tension. I was like, oh, girl, what? I said, what you gonna do when you sit on my couch? And he said, well, girl, I heard you had a dog-ass nigga. Well, so I guess he was trying to imply that if you let a dog sit on your couch, you're fine. Like, I'll be okay. Like those were his words. He said, don't you got a dog? And I said, no, I don't have a dog. He said, well, I heard you had a dog-ass nigga. Like, he said, I heard you had a dog-ass nigga. Now, this happened in April. This was during the Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards. Not Battle of the Bastards. I can't think of what episode of Game of Thrones this was. I think that was the almost the season finale. It was like a week or two before the season finale. Like it was the battle at Winterfell. That's what it was. And he made that comment, and I didn't understand it. I was like, it was so much going on. I couldn't collect all of it. We had just got back from a trip in LA where we hosted a podcast in Bakersfield, California. We were invited by this college to do a podcast with the Black Student Union. And me and Adrian had some real conversations. And I revealed a lot of what was going on in my heart, how I was feeling about my relationship, and everything else that was going on. Like, I was just really just talking, as we always do. And it seemed to me as though those conversations were not kept private, and they were shared with this person who I don't know, who he barely knew. So when he brought it up, I was like, oh my gosh, like where is this coming from? So Adrian always said that he never had a conversation with him about us or about my relationship or any of that. And I like, even if that's true, I don't, know if I believe it completely. Even if it was true, that wasn't the only thing that I had a conversation with him about. The conversation also was about him showing up drunk and driving, and then also leaving intoxicated too, with someone who was intoxicated and toxic. Because should nobody you don't know put their hands on you like that? So like, even if you're just playing, you don't know, be like that. He violated me in my own home, like in my own space.
Right, when he
like,
violated you,
doing whatever.
And when he said, I heard that you have a dog ass nigga. Now, with that conversation, did you have a dog ass nigga? Was it in that type of context when you spilled the tea?
I have a dog ass nigga. Well, honestly, I think all me and our dog.
Okay,
honestly.
but
there were some things. There were some things going on in my relationship that I was unhappy about, and stuff that was going on, and stuff that happens in relationships. And you have a conversation with your partner, and you have a conversation with your friends, like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. It wasn't necessarily bad, but it's just like your friend calling and saying, my man left the drawers. He left his drawers on the floor. He's been leaving his drawers on the floor in the bathroom for the last 6 months. I'm tired of telling him to clean up after himself. That type of stuff. So it wasn't like, oh, he beat me or he cheated on me, any of those things. Now, even if that had happened, I was close enough with my friend that I should be able to have that conversation with them. We all do it. I have married friends who talk about their husbands, who have talked about their husbands with me, but I'm not going to go back and share that with anybody. Because I want to always be that person to, like, my friend can call me and share how they feel about what's going on in their relationship or in their life. So to answer the question, no, it wasn't a dog. He wasn't a dog, but it felt as though the conversation was framed as he was. And it doesn't even matter what he thinks of what relationship I was in. It was the fact that I felt that he shared some private information with somebody who we don't know.
I hear that. And when you were violated, when he smacked you on your ass and they were drinking, Adrian proceeded to leave out of the house with a bottle. So you didn't want him to drive drunk. So have this been
This happened before. This happened before we got to the apartment.
Okay.
Like, this happened while we feel like this happened as he was walking to the apartment.
Wow.
When we got inside the apartment, when we got inside the apartment, I was a little stunned, and I think Adrian was trying to apologize for him and all that. The guy had went to go use the restroom, and he had sat down, he fell asleep, and Adrian was trying to apologize. I can tell that he was empathetic to what happened. He felt bad about what happened. But I think it wasn't just that, but it was just like, my friend came over here with a half drunk, half empty bottle, and has been driving, and was leaving with this bottle again, driving with someone who doesn't seem to have the best interest in him. And this is not the first time I've seen them, kind of inebriated and driving. So at this point, I'm like, there needs to be a conversation about, getting tipsy, drunk, lit, whatever you want to call it, and getting in the car. Like, we need to have a conversation about, like, that. So it wasn't just being violated, all of that. I think it was just like, hey, this incident was the push, the straw that broke the camel's back, that, like, we need to have a conversation. about this because this can't continue to go on if we are going to maintain friends. Like, I got to have a serious conversation with my friend. And we always said that we will always have conversations, real conversations with each other if anything ever goes like wrong or something was serious. Both of us have addiction in our family. My father was on crack. So we both had conversations about addiction in our family and how we did not want to become that. So that was the conversation that I had. Like, hey, sis, you know, we might need to have a conversation about, you know, your drinking stuff. And I'm not sure if that was a trigger or something they did not want to talk about or whatever. But everything just went haywire after that. And I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting the shot, the subliminals. I can understand taking a break from the podcast. I told him, hey, that's fine. Like, to do that, you like take a break from the podcast, since I understand that. But the shots on Twitter, YouTube, that I didn't even know about until I did this video last week. I didn't even know about these comments. Like, I didn't even know. I kind of been told that, hey, this was about you. Hey, this was about you. I think this was about you. And it's not even from friends sending me. It's from people commenting and DMing me. So people who are watching, you know how folks do, like, girl, I think Adrian talking about you. Or I think such and such is talking about you. I was like, girl, none of that matters. None of that matters. But it had went on for so long that even one of our close friends had told him and asked him to stop, to keep everything in-house. But apparently that didn't happen.
So even with the subliminal shots that he wrote about you on Twitter, you put it on the video, and one of them was, don't trick yourself. Some people are just idiots. They have you convinced that you sound dumb of yourself down to make them feel comfortable. LOL. They're too empty-headed to get their ambitionless asses up and learn something. So they project on you, but you deserve better. So it pretty much was calling you dumb. So did you feel like that? Because obviously you felt that tweet was concerning you. So is what he's saying is correct? Are you ambitionless? Is that true? Is that a true?
I mean, you can, let me ask the audience, do the audience think I'm ambitiously? I've been able to do a lot in the last year alone. I was invited to YouTube Black 2 times. I was invited to YouTube Black dinner in LA. I was invited to YouTube Black in Atlanta. I've been able to do interviews and stuff with other people. I've invited other people on my platform. I've built other platforms in the time, and I've gained a hell of a lot of subscribers in the last year, and continued growth, as you've seen in the chart that I posted. In the last year, I've been able to get 45,000 subscribers. So I don't think my ambitions are not there. I'm not sure who he was talking about. Like, he could have been talking about anybody, but I don't think that applies to me. But I think he was trying to talk about me, but it wasn't giving that. And see, that goes to what I was saying about the picture that was being painted of me. Because during all of this time, because those tweets are from last year. I think you said, like, you didn't know when them tweets, all those tweets, except the ones towards the end, were from last year. The one where he talked about his music. All those other tweets were from last year.
And I have
these were tweets that I was seeing.
I have a tweet from May 17, 2019. He wrote this quote. This is AdrianXpression's quote. I don't want to make a big deal about it, but I have fallen back from the For Culture podcast. Just in case you're wondering where my ass was at, LOL. Sorry if that's disappointing, but I need to move forward. Thanks. And he had a picture of a fat guy. So he was doing a dig because of your weight?
Fat guy. I
think that guy's kind of chunky. Was it targeted towards your weight, or did he make a fat joke towards you when he exited the For Culture podcast?
I have to see that tweet. I'll have to see that tweet, but I don't think that he was being fat phobic in that gift. I think the gift that he used was Mariah Carey.
No, this gift he used, this gift on May 17th.
Now I know. That was the one he said, peace.
2000.
I didn't take it as fat phobic.
You didn't take it as fat phobic? Okay, because
I didn't see it like that when I first. I didn't see it when I first saw the tweet. I think he was just being shady.
Okay.
But honestly, it's into interpretation. It's left up to interpretation.
That's how I'm receiving it. Because people that's looking at how receiving it, is he fat? Do he come at you because of your weight? Is that your weight is a problem?
I think that he did kind of hint towards something when he said insecurities. If one of those tweets were about me, I think that he was trying to imply that maybe I was insecure about my weight. There's some days where I'm insecure about my weight, and there's some days I love my weight. There's some days that he was insecure about stuff, and some days he weren't. Like, but for me being a fat black gay man in this society that is fat phobic, yes, like I get picked on even more because I am fat. If you look at all of the comments and stuff, the negative things that have been said about me, it has been because the jokes were, oh, he's fat, he's lazy, this and that. Like he was building, like he was adding more fuel to the fire that was saying I was a negative person. Like people were piggybacking off of that.
Because this is the tweet he wrote. This is AdrianXpression quote. He said, "Get the stupid out of your space and watch yourself flourish. Get that negative energy away from your spirit, and your whole perspective on life will change." This is a quote from AdrianXpression. This is the last piece of that statement. He says, "Some people want you to sit with them in turmoil and insecurity because they're mad that you're a star that will outshine them." I mean, this is what the tweet that AdrianXpression wrote.
For you to see.
So is it, he said insecure, so is you afraid that he was going to outshine you? Because this is what AdrianXpression wrote. This is a tweet that he, he did not have your name,
Adrian says Adrian, just like me on Twitter, I think we all say shady shit that can be implied to a whole bunch of people. But I think what made that even more shady directed towards me is because of the timing. I think it was the timing. And people were saying, hey, this might be about Justin. This might be about the Kingeries. And then when you go through his video and look at the comments, when he was saying other stuff similar to this, people were coming and saying, I caught this shade at Kingeries at 6 minutes and 54 seconds. So now you have it. Because I say shady stuff all the time on Twitter, but it doesn't mean that it's about Adrian. It might be about a family member and all these things. But he was calling me empty, stupid, and saying that he was a star. Adrian most definitely was a star. He was musically talented. He can write. He can dance his ass off. So yeah, I think most definitely he was a star in ways that I was not. I can't dance. Justin can't dance to save his life. And I can write a little bit. But the way Adrian is with words and where he paints the story is beautiful. So yes, he was a star. But I don't look at him as outshining me because it never, to me, I didn't see it like that. We were both shining. And that's like not even no bullshit. It was just, we were both shining. So I didn't see it as a competition. That never was me with Adrian. Adrian was always my equal, no matter how many subscribers he had, or how many subscribers I had, or how many followers. Like he surpassed me on Twitter followers. He has 30-something thousand. I have 20, barely 21. So I never see him like outshining me because I never did see it as a competition.
So it's a narrative that is being spun about. They're saying pretty much a lot of people are saying, even people in the comments, that AdrianXpression, you copied AdrianXpression formula. But I can remember that you were doing the editing process, the website, all of that before you and Adrian came out publicly as being blogging buddies. Is I'm wrong in that assessment that you were doing this before Adrian came in the picture publicly?
Well, me and Adrian became friends, I think, like 2013 or 2014, if I can remember. It probably was 2013. I don't remember the exact year. I had to go back on Twitter and see. But I first met him in 2015 during the blackout. That's when he came to Atlanta. He caught a bus from Florida to a Greyhound from Florida to Atlanta. We went to blackout. We had a good ass time. Everybody remembered us and everything. Shaded the whole weekend. We went to Pride. Oh my gosh, that's a memory. Oh my gosh, that's just so beautiful. I remember that. But I didn't build a website until 2015, and I didn't build my website. Someone who believed in me, who reached out to me, said, "Hey, I've been watching you on YouTube and I love your content. You don't have a website. Why you don't have a website? This is what I do. I build websites. I do branding. Let me help you." I didn't know if I can trust them. I didn't know who they were. But eventually, back in I think October, I said, "You know what, girl? I tried to get somebody else to do it. I didn't want you to do it for me, but can you do it? Are you still interested?" So they built me a website, and they noticed that me and Adrian were friends, and we did the same stuff. She said, "Okay, let me help them out. What do you think about, if y'all gonna be doing content and stuff together, then they need to be, just as branded as you are." I said, "Absolutely." So she reached out to him. They built the website and everything. She built AdrianXpression.com and helped him with his branding and stuff. And it's just been that. So on the editing thing, I don't necessarily follow formulas or whatever, because we both did whatever worked for us, but we did take advice. And the advice I gave him was like, "Hey," because I think at that time he was doing a video every day about his college experience. And I was like, "Hey, girl, your videos are entertaining, they're good. But if you are trying to build a following, you will need to bring people in." I said, "You do a good job of talking about, pop culture and all these other things. So implement that in your own videos. Implement that." And I even learned, how to do, if I talk about formulas, the Scorpion Show had the formula of having all the topics in one video, and we call it a T video. And I was like, "Okay, that works. Let me start doing my."
And you criticized them too about that too. You criticized them. I remember my producers just brought to my attention that you said they do lengthy videos about celebrities, and you said, quote, "I don't want to sit for 2 hours talking about celebrities." At one point that you were not into that when the Scorpion Show was yet doing it. And also you was reading, Kevin, about when he had that green screen and stains on it. That was a bit of piece of this. And so a lot of people saying, how they bringing up AdrianXpression. Oh, do you remember when Justin J was reading Kevin the Scorpion Show?
I still to this day don't do this to this day a 2-hour video.
Okay.
Talking about celebrities. My videos probably still run like 30 minutes, and my followers love it. But if I'm gonna give 30 minutes, it's not me sitting down. Like my videos are edited, so there are no like silent moments in my video or something where let me get this news, let me put it up. It's very direct. Like I've been editing, so I still don't do no videos 2 hours unless it's a live stream and I just talk, and I don't even leave those up on my channel. And some of these tweets about the Scorpion Show or whatever, them tweets is like old as hell. Like I was still Justin J 1232 at the time. I'm the fucking king of reads now. So
but do you regret coming at Kevin though? Do you apologize? Do you regret ever coming out?
I think that me and Kevin both were doing some shady shit like to each other, stuff that people didn't catch that I called, and stuff that I was doing that he called. So I'm not gonna say I regret it because I felt like I was defending myself, but I hate that it had to come to that where we were shading each other. Like I hate it had to come to that. But I wish Kevin the best. Like Adrian is, not like Adrian. Kevin is the blueprint for a lot of Black YouTubers. He was that YouTuber that a lot of folks grew up with.
Right, because I think of one of the piece I remember, and me, I have to be messy in this regard, but I do remember when they had the fire.
You gonna be messy.
And you said, "Oh my God, it's not really a fire. It's just a little smoke. It's just a little smoke." It was a big thing, But
why are you bringing up?
Okay. But one of my producers, one of my executive producers, no, they just brought it to my attention about the smoke fire. But you had your history. You had your history, and that's why people bring that to you, and that's why they be like, "Oh, we don't want to go on his side because look what he did to Kevin." So we just bringing it all and letting you ask because you never answered these questions in an interview before.
Well, at that time, I branded myself as saying I'm the person that's gonna say the shit that everybody else is scared to say. And honestly, somebody, a real known celebrity told me this last week that I say the things that everybody else is scared to say. But I just had questions because stuff wasn't adding up and it wasn't making sense. But, you know, I have no, like, if they want to, you know, do a GoFundMe to raise some money and shit to get people to help them out, they should be able to do that.
Yes. Now back to Adrian. One piece someone told me.
Jumping all over the place.
I just had to ask you that because I never spoke to you until now.
Someone
got you moment. Right, but someone told me about Adrian, and they said Wiley, he's very upset that when Adrian got invited to a Beyonce concert, he decided to roast and gag Beyonce because Justin J did not get that invitation. Were you jealous, upset, pressed that AdrianXpression got an invitation from Beyonce Cap and you did not get that invitation?
No, I was not. And still to this day, I don't understand it because I'm the one who dropped Adrian off to the airport and picked him up from the airport when he went. I'm the one that rearranged the podcast being recorded so he could make it to that. So I've never been jealous of anything that my friend has been able to accomplish. Everybody knows me that I'm a critique of celebrities, and I'm not interested in being in any celebrity's pocket. It's just, I don't want to be friends with any celebrity. I don't want celebrities reaching out, offering me free stuff because I know that comes with a cost. And at the end of the day, my allegiance is to my audience. And I don't want to be out here, oh girl, I didn't flew you out, I didn't did all that. Now you have to give me a good review on this. So you have to say nice things. There are a couple of celebrities who follow me. Portia Williams follows me on Instagram, and I still eat her ass up when she do still this shit on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Same thing with Eva. I've been always critical of celebrities because that's what I do, and I don't sugarcoat shit for them. Now, I still to this day don't understand how they got that I was jealous because there was nothing to be jealous of. I've never been a Beyonce fan like that. And then I could have bought tickets to go to Ohio for a Beyonce concert. It wasn't like I was being like, it was an invite backstage to take pictures with Beyonce and to meet Jay-Z and to do all these things. Like none of that happened. So I can see a little bit like, damn, bitch, I would have like to take pictures with Beyonce, but that didn't even happen. But also, I've taken pictures with celebrities and been around with celebrities, and I don't be posting pictures with them because I just don't want it to seem as though I have a cool relationship with them, like I won't be critical of anything that they do. I'll be biased, not critical, but biased.
I hear you on that piece because AdrianXpression to this day have not made a full-fledged video, but you said subliminally he made some couple of shots towards you, and that is why you came out with your video. But you put depression. So my question would be, do AdrianXpression suffer from depression? And that's why you all cannot do the For the Culture podcast anymore?
When I said dear depression, I was talking about my depression.
Okay.
I wasn't speaking on Adrian's mental health. I was speaking on my own of dealing, like I suffer from depression and anxiety. So that one of the triggers and the things that was bothering me in dealing with my depression was the shock and me losing a friend. That was a lot. So it took me a while. There was many days that I cried about that. I cried when I saw the subtweet that he made about me in last month. That made, I had called one of my friends and I cried on the phone with them because I just didn't understand, like, why is this still going on? Like, it's been a year and something. Like, my birthday month was ruined last year because of that. I had to deal with drama on the day of my birthday. So it was a lot. So I suffer from depression and anxiety. So, and that's a constant struggle with that. So me doing that video was like me letting go of that part of the life that was triggering my depression.
And even speaking about that, because pretty much I do want to remember something on last year you also did. You called out the Mob Wiggins show and you said for a birthday gift, I would like everybody to go and flag a tweet or something that Ahmad Wiggins said towards T.S. Madison as being transphobic. Do you regret ever coming out publicly making that statement towards the Ahmad Wiggins show? And that was on the day of your birthday.
Sure. How you go from Adrian to the Scorpion show.
Because what we're doing is,
what is you talking about now?
I want to answer that question because you said on the day of your birthday. I do remember that you put that tweet out. Can you answer that on the day of your birthday? Because you said that would be a great birthday gift.
Was the tweet?
You said on your birthday. You said for a birthday present, if all of my subscribers will go and report this. Because the mob is during that time said something transphobic about T.S. Madison, and you made that tweet on the day of your birthday. You don't remember that?
Oh yes, yes. Among Wiggins, he is extremely transphobic. He said some very transphobic shit in the past. I remember calling him out a couple years ago. I don't regret calling Amon Wiggins out on his stuff, but this ain't about Amon Wiggins or any other personality or YouTuber or creator that I bumped heads with. I called you to have a conversation about the kind of the inaccurate stuff that you were saying, and to help paint a clearer picture without dragging or damaging my friend. So that's what this conversation is about.
I just had to ask that because I was triggered when you said it. But I just had to do that because what gets me and what makes your situation so relatable. Everybody I broke up with a friend, T.S. Madison Kai. I mean, everybody goes to breaking up with friendships and relationships.
But it's different when it's publicly.
And it's different when it's publicly, but I've seen so many public fallout between Maddie, T.S. Madison, Gio, Marvelous, and myself, you and AdrianXpression, and everybody just had to understand. One piece that did not break up is Kevin and Mikhail. They just understand. One thing I admired about them, even their disagreements, if they ever fell out, we never knew about it publicly. But in this case, I think that is true. But the energy in the videos were never. It's never like you can tell. You can tell there's something with it. Yeah, you can tell. But with the AdrianXpression piece, I would say this is me. I felt as though Adrian did not like you calling him out on the drinking, because when you're dealing with somebody that is an alcoholic, that drink to the point that they don't remember you an alcoholic. I said it because my mother had that same issue. When you target somebody with an issue and a problem, it will break up a friendship, especially if you bring up the liquor. So when you brought that up and when he responded and said, yeah, I was drunk, that's to let me know that you were calling him out on something that he's not ready to receive. And that's he's not ready to hear that.
If you look at, I don't know if you can look at the screen grab, but that text message is from April. So he didn't have to deal with that publicly. That conversation, that screenshot was from a conversation in April. So the public did not have to know about any of this. So if he had just put out a statement and said, hey, I'm leaving the podcast to focus on music, that's to focus on me, Like Adrian went to school, he has a master's in, I think, communications and sociology, if I'm not mistaken, master's in communications, I can't remember. But he could have perfectly crafted a statement that was saying that, hey, I'm focused on my career, focused on this and that. We're taking a break from the podcast, because we took a break from the podcast in 2018 because I was dealing with homelessness. At the time, I was staying in a motel for 3 months. We never did say what was going on. I never did say, hey, girl, the podcast is going to pause because I ain't got no place to stay. We just said, hey, we're taking a break. That thing, Adrian even crafted the statement for that. So just like he crafted the statement for that, he could have crafted the statement for when we were not talking. He could have crafted that too.
Because he came out with it, and you have every right to respond to the situation. With AdrianXpression, would you ever get back into a close relationship? Would y'all ever work again for the Culture Podcast? Let me tell you, you all were the best podcast, and I've seen other shows try to do a podcast, but it don't nowhere near come close to your type of style. Even with some of these other podcasts that actually got television deals and network deals, still don't come too close to the chemistry that you and AdrianXpression had. So would y'all ever come to a place that y'all would work together and do that podcast again?
I think for the Culture Podcast was a moment. I think that is like a chapter closed, and I'm not sure what the future might be, like 10, 20 years from now. But For the Culture Podcast was a cute chapter in both of our lives, something we built together, something we were both proud of, something that a lot of people will remember us, like putting together this podcast. It was literally for the culture. We had a lot of queer people who were listening and engaging and learning from both of us. So for the Culture Podcast coming back, I don't want it to come back. I think that it did what it was supposed to do. And now we need to move forward. I don't think that we need to bring it back on. There is no reboot or anything. And also, because I think you're about to get to that conversation. I think you're trying to say, would me and Adrian ever be cool again? Will we ever rekindle our friendship? I don't know. But I know in this part of my life, on August the 6th, 2020, that Justin is fine with there are possibilities of us never being friends again. I grieved that relationship, and that's what I was doing the last year since we've stopped talking. It's been an ongoing process, and there's still been some times where I wanted to call my friend and be like, I miss us talking on the phone for 2-3 hours, being late, getting stuff done, doing our videos, because we are here talking about all the shit. There's sometimes I do miss it, but it's not affecting my mental space as it did last year, because I was going through it really, really bad. And some of my close friends knew that I was grieving our relationship, our friendship and stuff. And I think I talked about that in my video. I said that, it was like grieving someone who was still alive.
Because I'm looking right here, because, another narrative, you put out very messy of you to put out a graph of your subscribers. And you said after y'all broke up, I continue to grow. I'm at 155,000 plus subscribers.
Yeah, I didn't say any of that.
I know you didn't say
that graph.
You put out the graph, and you continue to grow.
You trying to say that I was messy, but that was not me being messy. Those were me responding to the fact that folks were saying that Adrian carried me on his back.
Okay.
People saying that Adrian was going to be so much better. That was me responding and saying, hey, look at what's going on. These are the numbers now. Not one point did I say, well, bitch, I left that hole in the dust. She only gained 7,000 subscribers last year. I never said any petty, shady shit.
But let's be clear, as the public, we can look at you continue to grow, and the public opinion and my own interpretation that AdrianXpression was kind of stagnated with the subscriber count, because they did put that out. They was like, he got the talent, he got the clicks and views. Just the J pressing mad, he ain't get no views. And so, but you release, people lie, but numbers don't lie, and it clearly states that on that graph, you continue to grow, go up and up and up. You even beating the Scorpion Show as well. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm not trying to be messy, but numbers don't lie.
I mean, that's what's my thing. If we're going to talk about all of these things, let's look at the data. One of my friends honestly said that, girl, to be honest, that they had flattened the curve. It was funny. If we talk about the eyes of COVID, my graph kept going. I was getting new things, new cases, new everything, and they were flattening the curve. But I'm not gonna say that they was they're stagnant or whatever. But that was for me to just show that all the things that were said over the last year is that I was not going to be able to grow, and that he taught me, because he even mentioned and said that he taught me he taught me, you can't disfigure the stuff you taught me. And I was like, girl, to be honest, you taught me nothing. We taught each other, we grew together. But you never taught me anything that I probably would have learned my own. We grew together. So I just understand where that came from. It was just giving me very much Trina. I'm the baddest bitch, but then when you look at the data, it doesn't support that you are the baddest bitch that taught me anything, because my stuff is still taking off, it's still growing. I've not seen any stagnant. I've not been stagnant or slow growth since I've been on YouTube. I've always been growing every year. So if you look at 2018 to 2019, while we were cool, while we were doing For the Culture Podcast, he had gained 20,000 subscribers in that time frame. He was going up. So this is the first year that he's not seen a substantial amount of growth. So y'all do with y'all will.
And yes, because Justin, let's be clear here. At the end of the video, it was messy when you posted the Nicki Minaj clip talking about where's your music. Every time you do an interview talking about me.
No, that's not what the clip said. You're not gonna do that.
I mean, come on, that was the clip where she put out. You edited that Nicki Minaj clip when she was trying to.
The clip that I posted.
Okay, what clip did you post?
The clip. We can play the clip, but the clip was never me saying. I never did post the clip of Nicki Minaj saying, "Where's your music?" Now it was funny when Nicki did say that. That's one of my favorite clips of Nicki. But Nicki just basically said, "That's my favorite clip." What did Nicki say? Let's listen. Yeah. This is what Nicki said.
I respect you. I love you. I've said it in every interview, time and time again. And if that's not good enough with you, mama, then it's something deep-rooted in you. You need to get something is bothering you inside. That's your insecurity bothering you.
Period.
Okay. That's the what.
Okay. Where's your music?
Okay, but doing that, okay, he didn't add that in there, but that's what she was saying in there.
It wasn't necessary.
Okay.
I'm not a musician. Why would I need to take shots and say, "Where's your music"? He's putting out content. He has a Patreon. He has a website. He's posting tweets. He's putting out content. So he's still doing that. So, it was no need for me to post in there. It was all about, I said I love you in every interview, and every time you said you don't want to talk about the whole situation, you never addressed it. You were above it. But if you were above it and unbothered, you would not be out here throwing subliminal shots and constantly talking about some shit that happened a year and a half ago.
But you do think he's talented musically, right? You believe that he's talented? Do you purchase his music and listen to it every day in the playlist? Is he added to any of your playlists?
Now, bitch, you must think this is the Breakfast Club, or you Angela Yee or Angie Martinez. This is not. You is not finna ask me, do I buy the music? I mean, I did buy the music that I listened to it on the iPod. The song that he did, I think earlier this year, that people were saying that was about me, where he said that I'm not a bad bitch, I'm a catfish. I don't know if he was saying about me, but honestly, I think that at this point that if he's not careful, his whole brain is going to be wrapped around dragging or coming at me. And I hope that he learns to let that shit go, because if you already have done, people coming to me thinking that this music is about me, that means that people are only going to be engaged in your content when they're thinking it's about me. And then any other stuff that you do will be about me. Any interviews or anything will be always to be about me. And that's just what it is. I wish Adrian the fucking best. I want him to excel and do many motherfucking things, and will continue to, support whatever he's doing. But I want it to be free from drama and free from me being subtweeted and talked about, because I don't do the subtweets. If I want to fucking say this shit, I would just say your name. I don't have time for that bullshit.
Right. Like somebody in the comments, they were saying, Justin J, your claim to fame came from dragging people.
Well, I'm believing some of these comments coming from your motherfucking ass. These bitches ain't asking me questions. Girl, Andy Cohen, go sit your ass down.
No, because
my claim to fame. My claim to fame is a whole bunch of things. It's being relatable. It is for me dragging bitches. It's from me talking about being homeless. It's about me talking about being HIV. All of these things is me. All of these things are. So whatever you want to say that was my claim to fame, I haven't dragged nobody and went off. You even mentioned and said that even when I did this video, that I should have put on the black V-neck and I should have went in and I should have did all these things. I still did not do that.
Right.
So that Justin, I'm fucking 32. I'll be 33 next Thursday. So it's not even about an age thing for me, because I think that you can mature without age. I don't think that just because you're 30 means that, but it's just life has been good as fuck for me the last year.
Okay.
The last 6 months have been the best for me.
And I hear you on
that. So
that
I'm in a very good place.
I hear you. But this is the thing. I reposted a video of the interview that I did with Star Milan, and everybody was asking me, but everybody now is asking, do Justin J apologize for getting involved in that situation? So do you apologize for ever getting involved in the Star Milan beef? Because he even came out and said he suffered from depression, he lost his businesses, et cetera, et cetera. So I've always, for years, wanted to ask you that question about him because you were a part of that. So a part of saying he's difficult, a part of saying that he's a predator, et cetera. But do you regret ever making those statements about Star Milan?
The only conversation I think I was involved in was Star Milan was involved in some shit that he shouldn't have been involved with, and they were selling bleaching cream. I mean, people were still buying it. He was selling bad products to people, and not even just that. People that he was supposed to be helping, like folks he was calling his sons and all that, had came out and said that he was sexually involved with them. So that was me talking about, you know, being sexually, like, hey, sis, you can't be out here, you know, oh, I'm gonna be your, what is the word? I'm gonna be your mentor, and then you're also having sex with them. That's not, like, you can't mentor folks you having sex with. That's the same shit I call Jada out for saying that she gonna help always got seen her, and then she out here having sex with him. Like, it's just, I'm always gonna call out that. So I hate that Star Milan, you know, suffers from depression and all that. But some of the stuff that he was doing in the beginning, from selling, like, even if you're selling bleaching cream and people buying it, you were selling stuff that wasn't even bleaching cream, and folks came out and said it wasn't cream. He was stealing money. All of these things, like, all these things were going on. So I don't regret having a conversation about that. Like, he's just like any other person I was talking about that was doing some shit that they shouldn't have been doing. But girl, we're not gonna go back.
No. I just had to ask you that because somebody.
We ain't gonna go back down the timeline. You try to get all your shit. I done did so much shit in the last year, and you ain't asked me how YouTube Black was, how it was with me talking to Brandy last week. Is this how these artists be feeling when they be coming? How they come on and like, hey girl, I got a new project, I got a new
But
music.
come on now, Justin J.
Let's talk about what you did 3 years ago.
I hear you, but the people want the best. The people want the best. You know what I mean? I have to give what my audience want.
I can get it.
They don't want to know about what you do at
Then,
YouTube Black.
okay.
What Brandy had to say, unless she telling you why she lied and why she lied about being married.
No, my subscribers do want to hear about that, because I guarantee you, when I talk about this today,
they'll want to hear it, because you built an infrastructure of whatever they give it. We're still building. So right now we're about to mess with the drama. Unless Brandy telling you why she lied, it's about she wasn't married, or she gonna give you some tea about that accident, or give you the tea about her throwing shade at Beyonce. Then my people be interested, but they don't want to hear about her talking about B7, how much love she in. They want the drama and the mess. Do you like Beyonce? Why did you throw shade at B? You know, that's what they want to know. They want to know mess and drama. I can't get on here and talk about, Beyonce calls.
But what's funny, Adrian has even thrown shade at Beyonce and said that the On the Run tour needed some work. The second part of the tour was trash and stuff. Like, he said he understand. Like, even Adrian was saying these things. Now, he might not have said them in the video after he left the concert, but that might be the reason why they gave him free tickets to Ohio, because they want him to put out a positive thing. Like, that's PR.
Right.
That's PR. Instead of trying to silence you, I'm going to invite you and let you, because I know you're going to want more of these things, so you're not going to shake the table. That's probably why my bitch ass didn't get no damn one, because I'm not going to get on there and lie for no damn about it, because I don't give a damn about your damn ticket or your damn fucking economy seat plane tickets. I don't care. Like, what is for me will happen for me.
Right.
And I'm not going to be out here lying. That's why my audience trusts me, because they know I'm not going to get in front of no camera with no flat tummy tea, talking about some, hey girl, about this flat tummy tea. Like, they know they're going to be like, Justin, don't do that. That's my audience.
So, but even with the Brandy piece, what was she talking about with you? Was she telling you about her album, about her music, or did she tell you why she didn't release the interview with the Scorpion Show? So, what was that conversation like?
this is so messy. I don't even know about no interview with the Scorpion Show. I don't even know about no interview with the Scorpion Show, so I don't know what the fuck that is. Brandy had a listening party, and she invited me to her listening party.
Oh,
that's what that was. I was at her list. I was at.
Oh, Zoom. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's on YouTube. You should check it out. It was cute. I love talking to my girl Brandy. Yeah, I love Brandy. Everybody knows I love Brandy.
Unless she start charging people for autographs in the park, you're gonna read her. If she start charging autographs,
so that's what you bring it. So you, I don't think Brandy's gonna be charging nobody. She's not.
No, I'm just joking. But
it's
that's
okay.
incredible that you actually went there and you sat there for and you had the experience. How was that experience talking with Brandy? And,
it wasn't sit there. I was actually on my way to Memphis. I was on my way to Memphis, but that was she did a Zoom. It was just a Zoom.
Oh, Zoom.
Just a Zoom thing.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Yeah, it was cute.
That's good.
I like the album. I like the album. I encourage everybody to listen and do what they want to do with it, and that's the key.
Yes.
It's Marty bitch.
I'm here for it, because
any other messy shit you can ask me before I let you.
No,
because I already know you already use. Let me interview your ass because you done went and took this old ass picture that me and Adrian took in 2015 and made this shit as the thumbnail. And gonna name it Justin J. What's the title of this shit? Let me look at this shit. Justin J. exclusive interview gives his thoughts with the follow. And I told your ass, I said, girl, just say exclusive interview. You ain't got to put no AdrianXpression. But bitch, I knew you was gonna hear motherfucking shit. I knew your ass.
But my people, my people gotta know. It just can't be. It gotta be something to get them to come in. They gotta get into some things.
My name is bigger. My name is will be big enough alone for.
I understand. I understand that, but people understand. I love the mess. I love the gossip. I love, I love the thing. But this is me. I said it in my.
This should be under every video. Now when
I gotta eat too.
They gonna flock.
I gotta eat
because I've been eating off of fucking this drama.
I understand that. Like I said, somebody said, I said Adrian is not that, to me, he's not entertaining for me to watch and consume his content. I like to see somebody tell me about Beyonce, but in their personality. Be personal. You don't have to break down like, oh, Beyonce released the new musical thing on Disney Plus, but give your perspective about Beyonce. You know what I mean? With your attitude, your sauce, and you just give me that. You don't just break down the story. You actually give your opinion and you go in depth like your Real House of Atlanta content. You give me the best reviews. No one still to this day come close of you breaking down those reality shows. Even some of the celebrities can't even do what you do. You're top notch in that regard. And I love your website. The quality of your website is just absolutely on point. I think branding is on point. You even, said that T.S. Madison should work on her branding, and she did exactly that. Did incredible with her branding. I mean, she did.
And I have, and me and T.S. Madison have talked, like, the way you be talking and getting shots in there, bitch, I will give it to you. You really be, I'm really.
But she worked on the branding. Now, I will ask you this, Justin J. Since you here, you've been to T.S. Madison house and you've been inside her
I've never been to T.S. Madison house. I've never been to
T.S. You never been there? Because I was going to ask you, is it a finished basement?
You ain't got the fast right. You trying to bring up the mess, but you ain't even got the fucking right.
Okay, I thought you been there. Oh, no, you wasn't there. Your boy Nunu was there. So I got to ask him these questions. How was the house? He was actually there. I got to call Nunu. Nunu been to our house before.
Oh, yeah, you called him.
Because I thought you were there to confirm, was it a finished basement? Did it smell like piss and ass or liquor? Because, that's what
I don't know what that lady's basement smell like, and I ain't got nothing to do with none of that shit. T.S. Madison has always smelled like fucking flowers and everything around me. Every time I see her and I've been around her, she smells real good. So,
right.
Girl, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Because I already knew.
I don't believe the her house.
I know, and I knew, like, I didn't hear your sense because you don't get into the mess like that. But I knew for one thing, when they kept making it seem like Madison, they tried to bring up her status or try to make rumors. And this was Gio. I said Justin J is the only one that can break this down, give a percent, because that is kind of wrong. Every time in the gay, don't you find it funny? Every time in the gay community, they always do health reads as a read. Like they always do. They even said I was HIV positive every single day they say it. And I'm like, why is that a read? They do that a lot. Predominantly, is either you obsessed with sex or you do a health read. Do you think that's a problem in the gay community? Because that's like one of the bigger things they do, health reads or, you know.
But it's not just the gay community. The community does that. It's the hetero community do that too. You had other celebrities like who have made jokes about someone dying of AIDS. Like, I hope your mother died with AIDS. Cardi B said that. Then Summer Walker said something about someone HIV or something. Like, I hope you in HIV infested dick. Like health reads have been around here for the longest. Like, you get shit like ableist shit like that. But I think that a lot of Black queer folks are suffering from homophobia, internalized homophobia, and sometimes they hate themselves, so they hate what they see as a mirror of it. And I think fat phobia and anti-Blackness plays into that as well. Yeah, people make jokes about folks not being smart or not well spoken or articulate. You also get people to make, fat phobic comments. I think that was one of the things that bothered me during this whole situation, is that even with all of my alleged accolades and all these things I've been able to do, I think people still assume that I was jealous of Adrian because I was fat. And at the end of the day, that I cannot ever be happy until I am thin or until I look like someone like Adrian. No matter what it is, I can be, let me just say, bitch, for me to be able to pay my rent on time is a fucking accomplishment in this fucking economy. That makes me feel fucking good. But even then, like, I was homeless and everything, dealing with housing insecurities and shit and not being able to pay my bills. But you think that out of all the shit I've dealt with, that I was jealous of Adrian for what? Because he's more articulate. Bitch, are you stupid? I fucking got 2.5 years, almost 3 years of free tuition from the VA to go to any college I want to, and that paid almost all of my tuition. So if I wanted a degree, I could have got it. I'm not interested in going to no institution to give me no piece of paper to do some shit I already do. I can learn from other folks and learn from just the stuff I read and see online. So that never made any sense for me. But I am looking at these. I am looking at some of these comments. Your fans are watching. You got 330 people watching. Somebody asked, did I have a stylist? I don't have a stylist. My budget ain't big for that. I do have. I have been able to employ some black and brown folks to write for kingareese.com. Shout out to that. But no, I have not hired a stylist. I do have a friend that is a stylist, and every once in a while we have a conversation. I'll pay them to be able to put me an outfit and stuff together. And
but I want to say this.
Conversation, but no, girl,
Justin, when the begging piece, because I remember Timothy Bland would say something when you would come and ask your subscribers, and I said this. I said, Justin offers a service to his subscribers, and if he's in need, you go to people that you make laugh every day, get entertainment. You're no different than any of these celebrities when they go and purchase a Kevin Hart ticket. Why is it that when a content creator asks their subscribers to help them, that is a big problem, but Kevin Hart and any of these other celebrities now doing OnlyFans, they're asking people to subscribe, and I don't see them getting dragged like how we get dragged.
I think there's so many words that when people have conversations about like people begging or being upset at creators creating and asking for money and asking for donations, I think that in hindsight they hate capitalism, but they don't know how to name it, because some of these folks are the same people are working their ass off 9 to 5 or 5 to 2 or whatever, and still unable to pay their bills. So they like, how is me, someone who is following the quote unquote shit we supposed to do, get a job, work, pay your bills, and somebody like you can get online and do whatever and ask folks to give you money? That's not fair, and it's not fucking fair. It's not fair for someone to be able to working 40 hours a week and not being able to pay their fucking bills. Still coming up short. It's not fair that we're having a conversation. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic, and we're over here arguing that folks who are unemployed should be able to get immediately $600 a week, like that type of shit. So I understand it, but I think the energy needs to be redirected to the system that is supposed to help us, but it's not helping us.
Right.
So I think that's what's going on. We're supposed to get upset about that. Like, how is you out here raising $5,000 fucking dollars and this and that, and you supposed to be living well? That's why I've never given the image off like I'm doing well. Just because I have 200,000 subscribers or whatever does not mean that I'm out here, bitch, driving a BMW or Benz. Bitch, when I bought a new car in December. I was terrified of buying a car. I was terrified because I know that there's been times when I've not been able to pay my bills or scared of not being able to maintain my bills that I have. So to add on even more, I was nervous about it. Nervous down. Still a little bit nervous because I can have one bad situation. I can be in the hospital for 2-3 weeks and get a hospital bill of $200,000. And now my ass is in debt.
Right.
So like I get it. That's why I always talk about capitalism and how should nobody be out here working 40 hours a week and not being able to pay their bills. So like I definitely get when the girls are like, bitch, that shit ain't fair, because it's not. But I think the energy needs to be redirected.
And I said yesterday, we did a video. I said, you all need to redirect your energy to Mitch McConnell, someone that is over the Senate. And some people, who is Mitch McConnell? He's over he's the Senate majority leader. And so his responsibility to make sure the bill goes to the Senate for the extra $600, because the House of Representatives passed it, and it went to the Senate, and Mitch McConnell's, he getting up talking about, we don't want people getting extra staying at home. And that's not the case. People actually need that because they actually paid into that system. That is money that you as a taxpayer have paid into forever. So, and that's why I was telling people, put the energy towards me, because with me, I needed something. So if I'm entertaining 100 people, best believe you can help me out, give me $1, especially when I'm making you laugh. I'm spilling tea on my family, spilling tea on Just a J or AdrianXpression.
And we have to be a community. We have to be a community and help other folks. There's been other people. There's been times where I did a little thing on Instagram and I was like, hey, type your cash up. I'm gonna send you some coin, and people were just sending money. And I always have asked, if you got some money, you got a little extra disposable income, help somebody else who don't have it.
Yes.
Because, $5, $10 might make a big ass difference for somebody. And I'm not ashamed of that. I did GoFundMe's. I ain't fucking mad at nobody doing it, because at the end of the day, you don't have to donate shit. But I think that Black folks have always done that. Like we make it happen, even when we don't have shit. Like that's why we talk about going over our neighbor's house and borrowing sugar, borrowing eggs, or doing that. Like we build a community to be able to protect each other. So that's the type of shit that we do. We look after each other. So that's a new version. Instead of me loaning some eggs to my neighbor, bitch, I'm going to get my neighbor here. Bitch, you go $20. Take your child to go get their haircut until you get paid next week. If your child want to look good for school and shit, like stuff like that. We look out for each other, and that's something I try to make sure that I do. As I've been able to, be more financially stable, I want to help my other folks out. Like when folks, be like posting shit on Twitter or whatever, I'm like, girl, here's $10, here's $20. Let me, not bless you, but let me redistribute my wealth. I ain't got much, but I got a little bit.
Yes, and it's nothing wrong with that. I would say your content is definitely incredible when it comes to breaking down. You were one of the ones that told people your issues and your problems, sleeping on the park bench and all of these type of things. You did it, and yeah, you did get some criticism, but I've seen other bloggers like fucking Anila getting evicted, and Michelle put it out there that she had to fight to get her money. So I've seen that happen on social media. So, but it's not a problem when you have somebody that actually loved you and you got the money. I've seen that. So Black is nothing wrong with that. Now, I love you. So what are you going to do now? What does your future look like? I always want to ask you that, because you have always evolved. You're no longer just just dragging folks all day long, cussing folks out every day. But you do other stuff. I
ever just got online and just drag folks. I've always had a variety of content.
Yes, you have, but you get it. The most popular, I do a whole lot of shit, but the most popular stuff be about when I'm being messy. It is what it is. I talk about politics. I talk about Mitch McConnell. I talk about what's going on in the State House. I talk about Lori Lightfoot talking about sis need to get her hair together. I talk about a whole lot of stuff. But when it's the mess, it becomes Lori what I'm most known for.
Lori Lightfoot has a lot of stuff you can critique. But leave her hair alone. That is a Black woman. Don't be out here critiquing
I can critique. Absolutely, I can, because
I hope you ain't out here doing that.
I'm a comedian. I can critique her and everything. Like I said, it got sus, you know, when she had to fire the superintendent, it looked like she had some hair particles up in her hair. It is what it is. In the city, you know, she under a lot of stress, and they need to get her hairstylist. But she did listen to Brother Wiley, because she did get her a fade during this pandemic, and she got in trouble for that because she's telling people to stay at home, and she got a little fade. I have done that. I have done that.
Someone did Rio brought up a good conversation.
Go ahead.
I didn't like how Adrian tried to come for Justin. They don't have HIV, and they have no idea what pause people have to go through. They use their platform to attack and ask him about that. That was one of the things that also was really triggering for me, and why I got off of Twitter last month. Somebody reposted that tweet, reposted a video on Twitter. They downloaded the video and posted it on Twitter, and I got a lot of like death threats, and a lot of people who were saying real nasty about stuff about me being positive and me quote unquote spreading the virus to other people and all of these things. And I was like, girl, first of all, like, I've been in a relationship with them in 2 years, so I'm not even understanding where it's even coming from.
But when that tweet misconstrued that you said it's not your responsibility to share with somebody else, did you say something like that?
Yes, I said that it is not it should not be on the responsibility of the person who is living with HIV to disclose their HIV status. It should be on both parties. Now, people took that as I was saying that, oh, bitch, HIV positive folks ain't got to see nobody. No, but you should not wait on someone who is allegedly HIV positive to bring up the conversation about sexual health. Me and you engage in sex tomorrow. While I'm not going to wait for you to ask me, bitch, I'm going to be asking you, what's your status at the bank? Like, what's going on? So I can know what I'm getting into. Like, there's no such thing as protective sex. All sex is a risk. Anytime you leave out the house, there's a risk. Anytime you drive a car, there's a risk. Like you drive in your car. You drive for yourself, but you drive for everybody on the goddamn road. So if sis out here running the red light, I ain't gonna say, well, bitch, she needs to stop because the light is red and mine is green. I'm gonna stop because, bitch, I ain't trying to die. So
right, because even for me,
it should be on both parties.
It should. Even for me, I say I shouldn't have that on nobody, because you should always protect yourself. That's why I got on PrEP. You know what I'm saying? Even I'm not even having sex. It's just me, videos, and some Vaseline. I'm too busy trying to break stories. I ain't got time to be breaking nobody back in or getting my back broken in by somebody. But I would say this.
See now, this is where things always go, and the HIV stigma always comes out like it rears its ugly head. No, it's against the law. Black folks, your excuse of you saying that, oh, it's against the law, it's a lot of shit that's stuck in. The law ain't never been on black folks' side. So I'm not understanding why people are saying it's against the law. Why the fuck is black folks? The black folks should be the last person out here coming out and say it's against the law. It's against the law. It's shit that black folks do that is right, that they follow the law, and they still get killed in the fucking hands of police officers by the state. So what the fuck are you saying? You telling somebody it's against the law? The law don't give a fuck about black folks following the law and not following the law. Like that, none of that shit fucking matters. But if you have a conversation with every sexual partner, you know what you get into. That's you protecting yourself. Anytime you engage in condomless sex, you're putting yourself at risk. Anytime you engage in sex with a condom, you're putting yourself at risk. Condoms protect you from herpes. So all these things. So if you are truly concerned about like having sex, you need to be asking everybody. And if you want to be honest, I think it's 1 out of 4 people that are living with HIV and do not know it. So the people who are transmitting HIV are not even the ones that know they're positive. It's the ones that don't know they're positive because they haven't been tested. So that is the fact. If you want to talk about HIV, bitch, you're going to have to come with some real information, because some of the shit that the girls be saying don't make any sense. So AdrianXpression didn't do any research. They just want to blame feminine black gay man who was out here having sex and not telling folks. But I believe it's both parties' jobs to disclose during consensual sex anytime. But I think you cannot wait on everybody to disclose or not, because what do you do if the person doesn't know they're positive? How can you know that if you're not having a conversation? How can you know that? They can be positive and you don't know it. And like they're gonna say, well, I'm negative, and then come to find out, girl, I told you I was negative, but I was positive, and I didn't know it because I haven't been tested in 2 years.
Wow.
So that's that.
And I hear you on that, and I think a lot of people need to be educated in that situation. And just because you are positive does not make you sick. And that's another thing. That's
come on. And then this conversation about withholding information. People who are living with HIV are not out here withholding information. Stop making this story that there is some there's some HIV positive boogeyman that's out here not telling people. Just because you see 1 or 2 stories about someone was out here not disclosing. I have been in situations where I have disclosed with a person and they said, oh girl, I was coughing next week. Bitch, first of all, HIV don't work like that. And first of all, I'm undetectable. So, bitch, if anything, you probably brought me something because I get tested every 3 months versus you only get tested when you get a fucking hiccup. So you can't be out here saying, folks, oh, they withholding. Like, I'm just this HIV stigma, we have got to eradicate it. There are not no HIV boogeyman folks out here infecting people and not telling them and withholding information. Like, girl, like if you are that scared and you so pressed about, you don't need to be having sex. If you are so pressed about that, you don't need to be engaging in any sexual activity. Like you just don't. Like, because you don't know until you have a conversation with anybody. You just don't.
I feel you on
and
that.
And it's okay to have sex. It's a human thing.
So why did you feel as though, because do you regret coming out publicly with that statement or coming out and telling your story? Because it shocked a lot of people. I was shocked. I was like, wow, I'm here to support him.
When I said I was HIV positive?
Yes, when you made the video. Yes.
I think a lot of people didn't expect it because I always said I wasn't like a sexual person. So people assume that I would never be like positive because I'm not out here having sex. But I'm just like, people who are living with HIV are not a monolith. Like, all of our lives are not the same. And I didn't want to come out and be one of those people that say, hey, my boyfriend was cheating on me. That's how I contracted HIV, or I was raped. That's how I contracted. I didn't want to give anybody an excuse for how I contracted HIV. I have HIV, bitch. I don't know how the fuck I caught it. I don't know any of this shit, but bitch, I'm HIV positive. That was the story I wanted to tell because I think some folks always hear these stories of, oh girl, she was raped, that's how she became positive. Or this person was cheated on, that they became positive, or this and that. But for a lot of people became positive because they were having sex. Some folks became positive even when they were, wearing condoms and doing everything. They just became positive, and it's not a bad thing. I should not be treating you differently because of your diagnosis. That's the thing. You are still fucking human at the end of the day. Doesn't mean that you're good or bad or evil or in between. You're just a person.
Yes. So because you have,
and there's people who get checked a lot who still end up turning up positive. But the thing about it is, even with me getting checked, I was able to catch that I was positive and get on medication and stay in treatment and stay in care. So even like, it doesn't matter. You don't get tested regularly to stay negative. You get tested to make sure you stay in care. So if you are positive, we give you in the medicine and the treatment you need to keep you healthy. And if you are negative, we're going to keep you there. But it's not, oh shit, I tested positive, it's the end of the world. It's the thing of knowing, like, I am HIV positive. Now, since I know this, let me go ahead and get into treatment and take care of myself. It's not about everybody being negative. We cannot look at it like that. We have to look at it as everybody is doing what they need to do to keep themselves healthy. That's point blank, period.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you're coming on and express how you feel as a whole, but that helped you get some deals and go out and
I ain't got no deals from there.
You didn't go to get a booking. I mean, a booking. You get a booking. You have spoke about it, so they didn't pay you to speak about it.
But I was already getting bookings. I've been talking about HIV for a long time.
Okay.
So that didn't help me get that didn't help me get no booking. I think I've been getting bookings for talking about HIV even before I tested positive or before I came out as positive. So yeah, there's that.
Well, you have always been an advocate for the community That's why.
I used to be trash about it some years ago.
Oh, okay. But okay. But for a little while, and so when you came out and you made that response to stand up for Maddie with what my biggest had to say, I said, this is what Justice J do if he feels somebody is, being transphobic. He will call you out, and you definitely called him out about it. So, and he still when you had called out Amal Wiggins about being transphobic, because you said in that video, you said like gay guys sometimes they get in that position of privilege and they could just be just as transphobic as somebody that's a cisgender man. I remember you putting it out there in the atmosphere. So, and I said you didn't have to do that, but you did. And that made me, look at myself and get better in that, because I think us as gay men, we forget that we're men. And we can say some things that are not, even with Billy Porter, when he made that statement, he said, well, I have mine, we have this. Well, wait until next year. The trans community called him out on that and said, listen, that's a sign of privilege. How are you going to tell us as trans women to wait until next year to get an Emmy, and you have your Emmy? So, but you bring that on your platform, and you have your base is what, women, but yet you still talk about LGBT issues as well. And even when your podcast broke up, you said a lot of young queer folks, they would get advice. And so that's the part that I hate, that when y'all broke up that podcast, because there was some people that really was loving that podcast, especially for those in the gay community that looked up to you as a mentor, you and Adrian.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure some of them still follow us on our separate platforms and things. But I think that was one of the things is when we were doing For the Culture podcast, I didn't want the breakup to be a thing to affect the people who were invested in the podcast, because a lot of people love the fact that two Black gay men from different walks of life could have come together and did some podcasts. Some people, you don't see that. There are not a lot of Black queer folks that were like, as far as representation, like two gay Black men, you don't see that too much. And it is what it is. Sometimes I miss the podcast, and sometimes I'm kind of glad. I'm like, girl, it was a lot. It was a lot of work, but I loved it. There's no regrets. I'm glad we were able to put out some stigma content for the girls and keep it going. And I also appreciate you reaching out and talking to me and talking about all that. I hope all your subscribers.
And we've been friends for years. I've been knowing you for years. You actually know my cousin. I've been knowing you for a long time, since I was in Chicago, and I've always been a messy. Oh
yeah, I know of your cousin, child. Your cousin. Me and your cousin go way back.
Yeah. So you we go way back, and I've always been messy. Like when people say, "Oh, Wiley, you messy," this ain't nothing. The only difference is I have a fan base, but I've always been messy. I don't think that probably would change. I love it. I feel comfortable in spilling the mess. But I also want to say thank you, brother, for after 10 plus years of knowing you, you finally came on the Wiley Show. I'm honored.
I was on your show back in 2015. What are you See, there you go. See, this is why I'm on here, to make sure that she say the right shit. She be saying all types of shit.
Okay, well, 5 years later, you're back up on the show. So I thank you for that. I wish you would have just let me go for 10, because 10 plus years sounds a little better. But 5 years later, you finally made an appearance on the show, because wow. And that was Blog Talk Radio. And now we're live on YouTube. 5 years ago, you couldn't go live on YouTube. That didn't exist, I don't think. Where you could just go live and live stream.
You've been able to go live on YouTube for some years.
I know.
I think it's just they changed some of the stuff.
Okay.
But I think you had to have a certain amount of followers.
Yeah, because like 2015, because I was on Blog Talk, and you was like, I haven't done Blog Talk in so long, and you came in, you were dragging the classic Justin J, and I was like, wow, I would have never known. And then I stopped blogging for a long time. And one thing I've learned in this business now, I understand, like, you got to be consistent in this game. Consistency is key in order to garner our audience. And I've learned that from you, because no matter how you've been dragging, no matter how many hotels, motels, no matter how many park benches you slept, no matter how many soup lives you've been in, you've been consistent with your content. I give you credit with that. No matter what you've been through, you're going to put out a video.
I'm going to make sure. I'm going to try my best, but I got to get out some content today. I'm pretty sure the girl's gonna be talking about this interview for a minute. Girl, I appreciate you, Wiley. Thank you so much. You do what you do. I appreciate you. And I'm gonna let you go so I can give me some content done because I done gave you all the content for the next 2 months.
You know, but I'm here for it. I love you. Know, I'm gonna be watching your content. I love you. I love your formula, and you never change.
Girl, you'll be dragging me next week.
Oh no,
you'll be dragging me next week. But you the way you were talking about Adrian calling me stupid, that shit had me stupid, empty-headed. Which I was hollering. I was like, okay, girl.
But that's what that's what he was giving, and you posted the tweet. I would have never known that about the tweets. And because when people say this shit is old, it's not old if you post a video.
What's the thesis posted the tweet? Some of the stuff I did go back and look because people, like as I said earlier, people went back and people were showing me tweets of that. Like they were going back showing me over the year, they had sent me screenshots in my DMs and everywhere saying that Adrian was probably talking about me in this video or like this screenshot of this tweet. So it like all I did was like, okay, girl, let's talk about it. Like let's talk about the order. So and now What's the Thesis has actually done a video apologizing to me. The girl who did the video, who started all of it, she has now issued an apology an hour after I did the video.
Absolutely. But this is the thing, though. When the bigger YouTuber or the person that's on the story, it gives legs to the story. Like if Adrian go live now and he sing a song and off key and he just get to drag you, that will add more legs to the story. Even when you went on Tasha K and you gave legs to the story, because that's a massive platform. You understand? So, but that, like say if he go live now and he drag you, or for my weakest drag you, that gives more legs. I hope they do, because that's great for business. Not saying you do it, don't listen to me, but it's good for business.
But I would say something. I would say that shit, it can be very extremely taxing on me. Like I will not lie if I said that shit is not taxing, but I think I've learned how to deal with it to the point that if it gets out of hand, I will take a break. I will disappear from it. But I think the most I have ever been affected by any drama or anything that's online is when me and Kevin got into it real bad back in 2016. And every YouTuber was eating my ass up. All the black, they were eating my ass up.
Oh,
you had Mr. Miles saying some shit, saying I was musty. You had all these girls, they were eating my ass up. And I think, what's his name? I can't think of his name. The light-skinned guy. I cannot think of his name. He did some videos like really like talking about me, and he was dragging me, and he dragged Funka Dineva too. But it's just amazing. Like over the 4 years after that, there are not that many people standing left. Like we were talking about, the blackout before it was YouTube Black. And I said, well, you know what? Black YouTubers did come together and put together an event because YouTube wasn't giving them anything.
Absolutely
now YouTube is doing something for Black creators, like doing something to them, giving them a little party, a little get together and stuff. But there are not that many girls left standing. I think that during all of that time, I didn't have any hatred or anything towards these folks. It was just I wanted better for me. I wanted to grow, and I wanted to expand, and I wanted to give the girl something new. And everybody else was still doing shit that was like 4 or 5 years outdated.
And even to this day, you still elevated because you're not lazy. A lot of people some of them that is still standing, they trans, A Connection TV, he's doing porn now, OnlyFans, the Scorpion Show, they're struggling to keep up with what's going on in the market. You stay consistent. Your boy Nuno's struggling. So a lot of people that your counterparts that you spoke up and said, you would say, I got, look at my views and go down, you look at my social blend. I'm that nigga. Ain't no way I should be on that fucking flyer. Y'all should put me. Ain't nobody checking for you. Who was the other girl that Candy? Oh, who was the other girl? She's selling. Oh my God. She's selling credit card. She's selling, stuff to people that improve their credit.
But honestly, if you go back and look at the blackout when that was reported in 2015, my applause was the loudest out of everybody. I don't want to sound like a narcissist or whatever, but the girls were excited to see me. They were very much excited. Like, even when sis was talking, it was like, Justin, they were clapping. They was ready for me to talk. And I think it was just some shade, like, y'all noticing that I'm growing, y'all don't like it. And then Mr. Miles did, the thing about Mr. Miles is that hurt me because me and Mr. Miles were both fat. So for him to use fat phobia, like, it's no shade. He is, like, he's fat, shit, I'm fat too. But for him to use, like, fat phobia comments and say, oh, girl, you musty, and, like, I was like, girl, now you know damn well I was not musty when I met you. Like, it's one thing fat folks don't do, because we get teased about it. If fat folks gonna make sure that they take a bath and smell good to the best they can. So, girl, you know damn well I wasn't fat, girl. You would have ate me up. So don't do that. But the girls was doing all that shit. But I also know that Mr. Mouse was pressed about me fucking one of his friends that he had a crush on. And they friends that like them. So there is just so much shit. I'm just happy. This is like doing things. I have a very supportive audience, a very strong brand. And I'm so thankful for that. So can't nobody take none of that shit away from me. Like, nobody can.
Yes, and I thank you for that. And you stay consistent. You changed with the times and you evolved. And I've seen some blog. I said, wow, you have been doing it. And your brand is strong. Like, everybody knows that's the king of your voice is iconic, you know. And I love that. And I learned from you. And we used to talk for a long time, you know. And I never grasped that from you. I was just a messy queen with no platform. I would go to platform to platform. The Scorpion show hated me. This person hated me. That person hated me. That's when y'all was all getting bookings. They were getting bookings in Florida for Sizzle. Now ain't nobody checking for Sizzle no more. They all, so I remember those days. Ain't nobody checking for those Sizzle. Like, that used to be popping back in 2014, 15, 13. That used to be popping back in the day. And those black YouTubers used to gain a lot of that. And so I used to love that, but I wasn't invited. Still to this day, I'm still out in the outcast, but it don't make a fuck. Fuck you.
I think somebody did reach out to me to do something at Sizzle. I think somebody did reach out to me to do something. That was a while back, but I was like, girl, my fat ass can't do no shit like this. I don't like fat niggas.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
I know, but they do have for fat folks, they do have gay pride for fat
big boy pride. I heard about
big boy pride.
You gonna go and get your back blown out? You gonna go and get your back blown out?
No, I've loved big guys. I mean, Reese G I had, he's very plus size. I love big boys. They have the best booty in my humble opinion. Of my experience have been
That's right. You are a part-time top.
Yeah, I know. I'm full-time top. None have changed. I remember I would have been the bottom from a kill though. I would have been.
You ain't never topped me, so I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, okay. You're in a relationship now. But if you were in a relationship, we could get, we could do a little so. But because and you got a talent.
Yeah, I'm gonna pray for you.
I would be in a relationship with somebody like you because you got
a platform. And I got a what?
You got a boyfriend now, unless y'all want to do a threesome. We can all get it, unless y'all want to get down. I get to Atlanta.
Let me go ahead and let you go.
No, but I love you.
Can't nobody trust you, bitch. You be putting cameras everywhere and be exclusive. Jumping through the whole place like Hershey Kisses, girl. No, man.
No, I would not do that. I would not do that. Because I think that's probably why you didn't want to see me in Atlanta, because you did not meet me in Atlanta. I was down there with Brandon Carson, before he did OnlyFans. But I was down there interviewing him and interviewing some people, and you didn't want to meet me. I think you were booked and busy. But I was kind of a little hurt that we didn't meet. But maybe it wasn't the right time.
I probably wasn't here. I don't know what
you were busy. You were doing your website, because I think you were doing your website. You was going to Starbucks. You said, "Hey, I'm writing my website."
Are you talking about March of this year?
No, that was like last year. You before, yeah, that was like a couple of years back when you probably booked a busy. But I will be back in Atlanta though, and I do want to see you and link up with you, because I would love to sit beside you and do a video. A YouTube video, because you can no longer say sit beside and do a video anymore, because with OnlyFans and all of that, sit down and do content for YouTube. You used to just say that, hey, let's do a video together. What kind of video?
Girl, girl, you is showing your ass. Anyway, shout out to Wiley and the producers. Love y'all so much. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. While we will be in touch.
Okay.
Appreciate you for this interview. Until next time. Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all.
Bye.
This was exclusive with none other than the king of Reeds. Y'all better come through. OMG. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I want to give a special shout out to all the producers. Thank y'all for y'all questions. Oh my God. Thank y'all for the super chats. Wow. Man, I wasn't expecting this interview today. But make sure y'all comment and subscribe. And when they say, oh, Wiley don't have friends, I do have friends. I've been knowing him longer. And I've been knowing him for a long time. And so when people say I don't get along with bloggers, that's a lie. When people say I have no friends, that's another lie. When people say my show won't go anywhere, you're lying again. When people say ain't nobody checking for you, you didn't lie again. And you know what? I don't get the respect that's due because I'm cockeyed. I'm gonna just tell you, it's because I'm cockeyed, and and I got an eye. If my eye was straight, I get much respect from folks. It's because I'm cockeyed. It is what it is. If I was attractive, and had a body and my eye was fixed, best believe people will put respect on my name. They don't want me at the table because they don't want no fat, no films, no cockeyed person at the table. You ain't got to worry about building my own table in my own house, okay? Thank you, Chef Willful, for that. That's what we building over here. There's going to be more bigger and better people up on this show. You're going to shock. They're like, damn, you on the Wiley Show? Yes, because they know my personality. And it is what it is. And I be ashy, you know what I'm saying? All that type of good stuff. I'm a little moisturized, and I ain't ashy. It's kind of the bad lighting make me look like my lighting is bad. I got to get better lighting. It ain't because I'm ashy. I ain't ashy today. Is the lighting is just blast. I got to get better light. I got to learn and get my lighting together. But we at work on that. Okay. Somebody said great interview. They say you're handsome. I know I'm handsome, but to the public wise and other, it's because I'm cockeyed. It is what it is. And I know that. I'm not dumb and stupid. I know that. And I said it, and I will say it again. If you use more lotion, you might get a chance, brother. All right. So I see somebody else new. If you're new in the house, it's the eye for me. Yes, I know it is. Think I'm dumb? You think I don't know that? I don't know that. Haters going to hate, but it's no problem. But thank y'all so very much. Also, I want to give a special shout out to my moderators. Thank y'all. Y'all were not even expecting it. I wasn't even expecting this interview. I was expecting, just come on the channel and, and talk about something else. But we broke this down. It used to be the bookers for me. Not no more. We working on it. But now we're doing extremely great things for the Wiley Show. We're going to go in bigger and better places. Now, I want to say this, and I say this humbly. I think AdrianXpression should respond, Stop with the subliminal. Stop with the whole whole cryptic tweet. Be direct. Put a name on it, Come on the Wiley Show. Do it on your show. And it's another thing too. If you feel the way you feel, put it out there. Like this is the thing I don't like. If you feel a certain type of way, baby, get on your camera. Tell me how you really feel. Give me your side of the story. Because if somebody said I was drunk, or you admitted that you was drunk, give it a tea. Why was you drunk? Or do you have a drunken problem? If it was me, I'd be like, well, I was drunk. It wasn't like this, it wasn't like that. Put it out there. Put an address on it. And of course, people are already messy that this interview is out, or we talking about it, because I didn't even send this to Justin J. I got a phone call from him. I'm like, what? And people must have flooded his inbox with this interview. I mean, with me talking about that last content that we did, the video, because I didn't send it to him. I just put the thing in there. You're doing some great things when it just pop up on people. It just came up. I'm like, what the world going on? Like, because I didn't even put it out there that we was doing the video. I was like, me doing that video about him and AdrianXpression. I'm like, how he know about the AdrianXpression thing? I'm like, who told him? I'm like, because these subscribers, maybe my producers, we don't mind bringing you attention of what's really going on the Wiley Show. My people, they be sending stuff. They will send it. Like my audience, it is what it is. But my audience, we love mess over here. That is what we love over here. We love mess. These people love mess. When I try not to be messy, try to be up, baby, y'all get bored. Views get to dropping. But when I ask the messy questions, y'all be here for it. Y'all want the mess. At least be honest. Be honest. In order for a good Wiley interview, I had to bring up the Scorpion Show. I had to bring up Amaya Wiggins. I had to bring up Maddie. All that stuff I gotta bring us. You only get one chance, okay? Like the drumline used to say, one band, one sound. You only get one chance to make an impression. I only had one chance, one moment, because you may not never get that moment again. So ask all the questions that you can at that moment. You might not never get the opportunity again. I was told new questions for a long time. You just never know. You can do better. You can do better than Justin J. No Shade. Here for all while. Yes, somebody says been here a while. Forgot how far. Was be straight. Wiley is my God. Yes. So it is what it is, and people are here for the Wiley Show. And that's the Wiley Show interview. Y'all want the mess. I had to ask the question. A good interviewer got to bring up what the public want to hear. I had to bring up the Star Milan piece. I had to bring up the Miles Wiggins piece. I had to bring up the Scorpion Show piece because that was a part of Justin J history. Then, once we get past your past, then we talk about your current events and plus your event with whatever you're working on. So then you bring it up to that. But as an interview for a Wiley Show interview, we're not big yet where you can come on and talk about your project and people be into it. Even with the Breakfast Club, when they do them political interviews, it get less than 50,000 views. When they do they messy interviews, when a celebrity is dragging somebody, or Lisa Ray responded to a Nicki Minaj, it gets hundreds of thousands. When they bring Angela Rye on it, it get nowhere near those type of views. It is what it is. People like mess. I'm keeping it real. I've watched the Breakfast Club. When they do them positive interviews, they're doing political type interviews, it don't get as much of an impact. You don't hear. But let it be some tea with Tasha K when she broke that story about Charlamagne. Now, Tasha K been spilling wine all the time. But when she spilled that wine that Kevin was trying to stop Charlamagne the God bag, Charlamagne the God called all of them and said, listen, we're going to talk about Tasha K and the rumor report. Now, sis been spilling rumors all day long on her platform, but they did not respond to her or put her on there until she brought up the whole help Charlamagne the God with his narrative that Kevin is trying to stop her bag. Game recognized game. Game recognized game. Now, speaking about Tasha K, since I have y'all here, she interviewed somebody that was abused, but I want to interview, since she already opened up that door, we're trying to track down the father to get his side of the story. Since we want to interview people, family members, my producers and we want to interview the father. And I want to hear, because that will really bring in some clicks and views. Now, because she interviewed, let's bring up Tasha K. When Tasha K reduced celebrity gossip and mess, almost close to 1 million views. But when she tried to get personal with personal stories and all of that, it don't get much of an impact like that. Many people don't talk about it because they don't know those people. But if somebody were to interview the father and the father were to drag Tasha K, I guarantee that will be a powerful interview. Now that one you have to actually get to. We're gonna be breaking that. We're gonna be breaking that video down. So I did watch it. We definitely gonna be breaking that video down. But we did something similar like that with the whole Larry Nelson situation. But this is like totally like way different. This is where the daughter is on, the mama is spilling tip out. So we're gonna break that down in a whole nother video. because I feel like ain't nobody else talking about it, but I'm gonna talk about it. So here we go. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in. Thank y'all for y'all donations. So Wiley, why wouldn't I do the same thing? Calling you a messy queen when you do it. You're a good journalist. First and foremost, I could call myself, I am a messy. Did I just say I'm messy? Did I just say I was messy? I did say that, right? I did not say I was a good journalist. I said I was messy and I always been messy. Man, please stop it. I am messy. I like such a I'm not going to press us out of gossip and I don't find her. It was just you did. So I've been saying that I was messy. Did I just not say that? I didn't even say I was a journalist. I can't even spell journalist. So if I did say that, I need to stop that. Just turn up with the light shirt next time you go live. Okay. They said, yes, you did. You said you were messy. Okay, I know I did say that. I said I am a messy interviewer. Period. I'm messy. And we asked the questions that had to be asked. Thank y'all so very much. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video and watch it again. This ain't gonna be no 3-hour videos. I gotta give me something to eat. You always say you best always. That ain't gonna change. Peace.